All right, as of this recording, this is on Labor Day. It is September 1st. Can't believe it's September, but we are now 3 days away from the Philadelphia Eagles playing football in 2025. Oh, it's such a good thing to say, such a good feeling I'm getting after saying that. And I just wanted to do a preview of this team, my thoughts going into the season, and yeah, let's get into it. First, let's talk about the entire team, and these are my expectations. We'll get into the offense first after this, and then we'll get into the defense, then talk about a little bit of coaching. But let's first talk about expectations. Let's be honest here. This team, the goal is to win a Super Bowl. The goal is to win a Super Bowl. You're coming off of winning a championship, your second Super Bowl appearance in 3 years. The goal is to win a Super Bowl with this team. Now, I have to take a slight step back because I do have small concerns with this team. Also, the Super Bowl hangover is real. We saw it in 18. The Eagles were nowhere near as good in 2018. No way. They were just not as good as 17. We saw it in 23. The combination of a bad fit at offensive coordinator and a piss-poor defense, it can really hurt you. And expectations in general, all of that is seriously very, very large. And it can compound and just destroy a team like we saw in 23. So I'm being very cautiously optimistic. I think this team obviously is built to win. They're very good. But there also is some type of regression that I expect for this team. They just were so good last year. The number one defense, the best rushing attack in football. They were just so damn good. So I expect them to go just take a little bit of a step back just because this is just how this stuff works. And the Super Bowl hangover is real. But minimum for me, I would say, if everyone stays healthy, I still expect this team to go to the NFC Championship. I have them as the best team in the NFC. I'm biased on that take. But let's be real. Who are the other real competitors? Detroit and Green Bay after the Micah Parsons trade. Other than that, I don't think many teams are really at the level of Philadelphia heading into this season. So I expect the Eagles to go minimum to the NFC Championship. Hopefully they win the Super Bowl, run it back. I would absolutely love that. But I'm also being real here. Things happen. Football's a very hard sport. It's a very it's a game of margins. It's a game of margins, and a lot of things can happen. But one of the things that does make me feel better about this team than in 23 is the fact that they've done it. It's over. There's no more discussion. Can Jalen Hurts win a Super Bowl? No, he can, and he can ball out. He's balled out now twice. Can Nick Sirianni win a Super Bowl? Yeah, he's now been to 2, won 1, has lost 1, but he can do it. Can Saquon Barkley win a Super Bowl? Or can he contribute in general to a winning team? Yeah, he was the best player on the team, had 2,000 rushing yards, was overall the MVP of the team, and really was the missing piece and got them to that point. So the Eagles have answered a lot of my questions heading into last year's team, and that's where I feel a little bit better. Like, they've done this. They're poised now. They know they can do it. So that confidence is serious. It's real, and we've seen it now with Kansas City the last couple of years. You saw that confidence with New England. Once you get it done, you're playing with house money, and that's how I feel about the Eagles right now. But yeah, that's all I have for the expectations. Let's jump into the offense now for the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles. Again, not going to be a lot of analysis here. You're really keeping pretty much almost all the same guys. You still have pretty much the offensive line looks the same, except for you lose Mekhi Becton. That is a blow, but I think Tyler Steen is probably going to start, from my understanding. Also, Landon Dickerson may or may not play in Week 1 just because of his knee injury early in August, late July. I can't remember exactly when that was. But he might play, he might not, but he shouldn't be out very long. So I'm going to count him as a player for the rest of the season. Again, we'll see how things go, but he should be healthy. Again, losing Becton is going to hurt, but I think it's something that you can still recover from. You still obviously have Jalen Hurts. You have Saquon Barkley. You did lose Kenny G, but you bring in A.J. Dillon, so we'll see how that goes as a RB2. Receiver-wise, your guys are still going to be making plays. It's Smitty and AJ out there. Number 3 receiver, I guess, is Cooper, maybe? Well, no, it's Jahan Dotson. I guess you have Cooper at the 4. There's some options there. You have Dallas Goedert as well at tight end, and then Grant Calcaterra behind him. Again, the offense really didn't change much from a personnel standpoint. I pretty much expect the same things out of this team. Again, not much change. If anything, I only expect them to go up. So that's how I'm feeling about at least the players on the offense. Now, my biggest question for the offense, and I kind of briefly mentioned this with the 23 season, was they're getting a new offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore left last year to go be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints after coaching the Eagles to a Super Bowl. Good for him. We'll always love Kellen Moore. He's always a legend in my book for getting it done last year. But now they have promoted QB's coach, Kevin Patullo. He's going to be the new offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I have mixed thoughts on this because, from what I know, at least from a positive, he is someone that has a good relationship with Jalen Hurts from what I've heard. But, of course, he hasn't called plays before, and we've seen how that can bite this team in the ass in 23. But at the same time, I think the Eagles have learned from that mistake. Maybe it takes a little bit of a step back, but also we saw how this offense can be so good last year. And it's really just being simple. I mean, as long as he can be creative with his play calling and knows when to really read the situation, I think he'll be good, because we all know what this team, their strengths are. It's running the football, wearing down the offense, have Jalen Hurts maybe throw the ball 25, 30 times a game. He's going to be efficient. He's not going to turn the football over. Probably maybe throw a touchdown or two. And again, keep giving the ball to 26. Once that's done, the thing will, the passing game should open up with AJ and Smitty. Maybe hit Goddard here and there. And then these short yardage situations, you just go get, you get that tush push getting ready, and there you go. Give him a little tush push. And that's really what this offense is. Again, teams are going to study your scheme, and they're going to, kind of anticipate a few things here and there. But I still expect this offense to be elite in 2025. We'll see if, Barkley has the numbers he has last year. I'm not sure. We'll see if Jalen Hurts maybe passes the ball a little bit more this year. But overall, I kind of expect similar things. We know what the winning formula is with this team. Obviously, they have to adapt because other teams are now adapting for them. They will be the hunted this year. But I just expect that this team is going to still be good on that end. They didn't really lose much other than Becton. And they have a bunch of guys that now have won a Super Bowl, so I don't see why these guys can't be successful next year. Now, when we get to the defense, I think the defense will be also very good. It's the second year in Vic's scheme, but of course we have to go over some free agent loss because, my God, did these guys lose a lot of guys in free agency. Brandon Graham retired. Milton Williams goes to the Patriots. Josh Sweat goes to the Cardinals. Darius Slay goes to the Steelers. Isaiah Rodgers goes to the Vikings. And Oren Burks goes to the Bengals. I don't think people are really remembering Oren Burks for how good he was in the playoffs. He was a freaking beast. Stepped up big for Nakobe Dean. And then, of course, you lose the character. You lose the guy that really defined the defense. You lose Gardner Johnson in the trade for Cap. He now actually has tore his ACL with Houston. Very unfortunate. But that's a lot of talent that you lost. So I still think the Eagles will be good on defense. But maybe they take a step back as well just because, again, that's a ton of talent that you lost. And a lot of that was homegrown talent. I mean, BG been with the team the whole career. Milton as well. Sweat, he'd been here since 2018. You've had Slay, I think, since 2020. A lot of these guys were on the team for a bit. So you're losing a lot of veterans and you're losing a lot of guys. But I think, again, what's made the Eagles so successful is that they continue to replenish on defense with these younger guys, and these guys look like they're built for it. And it's also the second year in Vic's system. I think things can still work out. I just expect maybe a little bit of a step back as well on the defensive end. It should still be a great unit, though. The D-line should be good, in my opinion. Carter's only going to continue to keep getting better. Jordan Davis is showing up in even better shape. You have a Jomo as well, who is a solid third down kind of guy, maybe a sub-package guy for D-tackle, but I think he can make some plays. He really was developing at the end of last year. You have Hunt and Nolan Smith as well on edge. I expect both of these guys, especially Nolan Smith, to continue to grow. Nolan Smith especially proved a lot to me last year. It really showed that he can be a dominant player in this league. So I expect a lot out of them. And then once we get to the linebackers, you still have Baun. Baun did very well in the system last year. I expect him to be great. You have Jahad Campbell now going to start next to him. And then you have Nakobe Dean coming in Week 5. So the Eagles will be getting Dean back soon. I think that, from what I've heard, Campbell looks really good. I'm assuming Vic liked him. I had to have some type of say on him getting drafted. So I expect a lot of from this kid, this rookie. He seems very physical. I mean, he should have gone higher in the draft. It was really just his injury concern. And again, he's being mentored as well by Baun. I just don't see how this kid doesn't do all right in this defense. Again, maybe he'll have some learning curves here and there, but overall, I think he'll be a good fit in the system. And worst comes to worst, you get Nakobe Dean back in Week 5, which really isn't that long. So I expect the linebackers to be good. My biggest concern, though, is cornerback 2 for this team. And it's cornerback 2 for a reason. Again, like I said, you lose Slay. You lose Isaiah Rodgers. Those guys are gone. Going into camp this year, it was a battle between Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, and then they realized, oh my gosh, we're cooked at cornerback 2. So they go and trade for Jacorian Bennett from the Raiders. And he looks like he's going to be the cornerback 2. It looks like Q will still be cornerback 1. He's going to be shadowing every elite receiver. That's what they were saying. He's going to be pretty much going on anywhere on the field, and I like that. You're going to keep Coop at slot, which he was elite at last year, which I think is a good idea. You're going to have Reed Blankenship starting as well back there. But again, you lose Gardner Johnson. So for right now, from what I saw, at least on ESPN, Sidney Brown will be your starting free safety. And I'm not in love with that, to be honest. I'm not a big Sidney Brown guy. I know a lot of people like him because he can hit well, but can he cover well? Can he tackle well? Can he be in position well? I'm not sure, and I'm not in love with him. They did draft Mabuka in the second round from Texas, but he got hurt a couple weeks ago, so I don't think he'll be ready for week 1. I think, again, my biggest concerns for this defense, I still think they're going to be really good, but it's cornerback too, and it's that strong safety position, free safety position, where you're kind of, it's not necessarily a liability, it's just, like, this team really had no weaknesses on defense last year. It was little to none, and that's just an area I think you can exploit now. You're also relying on a lot more younger guys in bigger roles. There's no more Slay as a veteran. There's no more Isaiah Rodgers as a veteran. It's now on Coop and Q. It's now on Reed Blankenship. D-line, again, there's no more BG as a veteran. You're now relying on Carter. You're relying on Davis. You're relying on Nolan Smith. So when we look at that, I still think the defense will be very good for this team, but I do think that they step back just a little bit just because, again, cornerback 2 is an issue in my opinion, and I'm a little bit worried about that free safety position as well. But overall, I still think this will be a top 10 unit. I just don't think they're going to be a number 1 unit like last year. When we look at Nick Sirianni heading into this year, not much I really need to say about Nick. Nick proved me wrong. I wanted him gone. I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest with it. I wanted him gone after the Tampa game last year. But we all know the run that this team went on after the bye week. And Nick got it together. He figured out what worked. And I feel like he found his lane. He doesn't need to call plays. He doesn't need to be calling plays, but he can still be involved and do what he needs to do. And he found his role. And I feel like the team really connected with him last year on a level that we haven't seen. I mean, we saw it definitely in 22, but they really did seem to like him. It seems like his relationship has grown with Jalen Hurts as well. So I have all the faith in Nick Sirianni to be good this year. And I think he just, again, kind of keep building off of what you did last year. Do whatever you were doing last year. You don't need to be as involved with the offense. Of course, it's still your offense, but you're not having to call plays. Let Vic do his thing on defense and kind of just manage his team and manage the personalities and continue to do what you do and bring the fire and passion you do every week. And I think this team will be coached at a very high level, and I expect him to be good because, again, when you look at this resume, as much as the collapse sucked in 23, this man's now been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. He's been to the playoffs every single year with the Eagles. Now, there's some context to that, but still. This guy, he wins games, and I just don't see how he doesn't win more with this roster. So as long as he does what he does last year, I think the Eagles will be good. And that's really all I have for this team. Again, I'm a big diehard fan, but it's just kind of hard to really, analyze a lot of this team because we already know what we're expecting. Like I said, the expectation is another ring. I want my 3rd ring. Do I think they get it? I don't know. But that's the expectation heading into this year. It's not, what's the offense going to look like? What's the defense going to look like here? No, we have everything solidified. There are some questions. Cornerback 2, free safety. But overall, this team is ready to win. They're here. It's a majority of the same guys from last year, though you did lose a lot of talent on defense. But I think that with the coaching staff of this team, with the players and the personality on this team, some of the veterans that are still here, and even the higher management with Laurie and Howie, I just don't see how this team doesn't at least go to the NFC Championship this year. They're built for it. They've shown that they can win. They have the mentality. They've done it. There's nothing to second guess now. There's nothing to worry about. This team's done it, and I think they're playing with house money now. We'll see how this year goes, but I expect minimum an NFC Championship appearance for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2025. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know what you think about my predictions. Drop yours down below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like. If you like my type of content, feel free to subscribe. We're going to be continuing to break down the NFL and the Eagles for the rest of the year. And if you like my type of stuff, also check me out on TikTok. I make a lot more short-term content as well. So yeah, if you're interested in that, it's in the description. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys on this one. Peace, guys.